Welcome to the geometry course. In this course, you'll be learning several things about shapes, theorems, postulates, proofs, and so on and so forth. But I want to take a moment now to tell you about the textbook. The textbook you'll be using is it's called Elementary Geometry for College Students. Don't worry, it's actually has high school geometry in it, but it's called Elementary Geometry for College Students. So that's the textbook we're using. If you go online, there are several editions of the textbook. So I want to give you a word of encouragement. So right now, I believe the newest edition is the seventh edition, but the fifth, sixth, and seventh are covering the same set of topics in the same order, essentially. So I am not as interested in using the seventh. When I taught this course with this book to some homeschool students in the past, I actually used an edition that would be closer to, I would say, the fifth edition, and it worked out just fine. So I want to encourage you to consider getting either the fifth or the sixth edition. If you have any questions about this, let me know. We might have extra copies and we can pass that on to you. Again, online, you can rent a copy. There's different forms online, and you can let me know if you have any questions on that. The fifth edition will be sufficient. So in this course, again, we'll review concepts from the past. We'll do chapters 9 to 11 right away because these are things that you've seen in the past. So make sure you spend some time reading through the chapter just to be familiar with the terminology and beginning to learn about different things as far as how we name different parts of the shapes that you'll be working with. So this is that's part of why we're doing chapter 9, then we're doing chapter 10 and chapter 11. Chapter 10 is coordinate geometry. Chapter 11 has to do with trigonometry. Just again, a brief introduction. You've seen trigonometry in Algebra 1. This is another opportunity to see it before you move on to pre-calculus after this course. Chapter 9 deals with surfaces and solids, prisms, area and volume. We're going to talk about prisms, pyramids, cylinders, and so on. Most of the content in the chapter should be straightforward in terms of the description of the shapes. So make sure you read the chapter, and then we'll go to the end of the book. My general rule is that you do 1 hour of each subject. If you're working through these whatever subject, make sure you try and do about 1 hour. And the idea is that if you do 1 hour of English, 1 hour of math, 1 hour of history, 1 hour of science, and then you do your electives. If you have time later on in the day, you can do more math. But I really want you to make sure you're not falling behind in any of the other subjects. So I would say just plan an hour of math. So if you read the chapter and then you do problems for 1 hour, like let's say we're focused on the odd problems, you do odd problems and you finish maybe 5 problems after you've read the chapter. Well, the next day you can continue and do the remaining problems with your hour. So geometry is a little interesting because how people understand the proofs and the theorems will affect how much time they need for each of the assignments. Do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions, but please plan for an hour, read the chapter, and then do the assigned problems. And if you are still within an hour, that's great. You can move on to the next chapter. If you do not finish the section within an hour, that is also okay. That's fine. Just remember the next day you continue from where you left off. You will need a notebook for this course, just like any other course. You will need a notebook that you would be using for consistency. You show your work, write the date, write the topic you're working on, and then, of course, any notes or definitions as you are going through the chapter. And then when you do the practice problems, please keep them in one place so it's easy to review and see where your questions are or what questions you have. These are some things to keep in mind as you go through the geometry course. I look forward to working with you to master the principles. Let me know if you have any questions. This video is just introducing you to the course. And as you jump into prisms, area, and volume, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you and have a wonderful day.